So the Bill of Rights has to suggest equality between all these animals, and that's one thing which makes me think that the motion to have a Bill of Rights for animals is really an absurdity. But the second and more important thing, which is my last point, is this. I am not at all certain what we really think that the Bill of Rights for animals ought to contain. Dr. Reagan says respect. But does that mean that we must never use animals in any circumstances for our own purposes? Because I suspect that this is what it means. First of all, obviously it would mean that we must never kill animals for our own interest, because that would go against their basic right, presumably, which is the right to life. But what about using them?
I'm like you guys, I milk cows every day. To get a cow, 7 calves, 115,000 kilos. Boy, that don't happen every year. Just a tremendous individual. The cow is so much dairy quality right from nose to tail. The cow is so much width in her muzzle, width in her front end. But for me, today, her legs and feet are just awesome for a cow that's given so much milk. And she does get the advantage today on her legs and feet, how she moves around the ring, her locomotion. Just the height and width of the river over the cow in a second.
Ja, Gary sagt, dass er melkt selber jeden Tag Kühe und was kann es Schöneres geben, wie solche Kühe zu melken. 7 Kälber, 115.000 Liter Lebensleistung und dann noch solches, ja, so toll, wie sie sich hier präsentieren, wirklich einmalig. Die Kuh vorne am ersten, die erste Kuh vor der zweiten. Sie hat auch noch etwas, sie bewegt sich hier noch etwas besser auf ihren Fundamenten. Sie hat Vorteile in der Bewegung, sie hat Vorteile im Hinterhäuter, im Volumen, in der Ausbringung des Hinterhäuters und ist einfach eine Wahnsinnskuh mit so viel Ausstrahlung, mit so viel Milchstück und wie gesagt, sie bewegt sich wirklich unglaublich auf ihren Fundamenten.
2 or 3 it is on her forward, she's longer about that forward. Forward is Ireland, her teeth shape, size, and quality of her teeth, so down in third.
2 vor 3, hier zeigen schon dann die Vorteile bei der Zweitplatzierung, gerade im Vorderhäuter, in der Länge des Vorderhäuters, in der Anwendung an die Bauchdecke, an der Sitzenplatzierung, Sitzenstellung und der Sitzenform.
Third over fourth, it is on her floor, just prepare evidence for her floor.
Die ist auch gut. Die ist gut im zweiten Kalb. Ja, aber die Kuh kommt jetzt mit dem zweiten Kalb. Die hat gerade gekalt. Die ist über 50 Liter. 50 Liter ist ja für euch auch wenig oder auch für die gewaltige Leistung. Ist das 50 Liter? Das ist keine große Kuh. Knappe Überraschung. Wir haben jetzt ein paar Schlachtkühe weggegeben. Ein paar Schlachtkühe weggegeben und dann haben wir frisch wieder gekalbt. Das macht es unwahrscheinlich bemerkbar. Wenn du das untere Ende abschneidest, ja, und ein paar hohe drauf hast. Jetzt haben wir heute Morgen haben wir so eine alte Elio haben wir noch. Die hat letztes Jahr 14 Tage auf Stroh, also im Weg überlegen. Die hat ja so 3 Monate auf dem Stroh gelaufen. Und heute Morgen hatte die 7 Liter. Ist die Elio wieder auch weg. Hat heute Morgen 7 Liter. Ist die kann auch mal. Die hat
Is it really the case that we believe that no animal should ever be used, according to the Bill of Rights, for human interests? We should never ride them, we should never milk them, we should never geld them, obviously, we should never get wool from them, we should never, in any circumstances, use them for our own purposes if they had what might properly be called a Bill of Rights. So what I would like you to do is to vote against this proposition, because to say that what we want is a Bill of Rights for animals is fooling around with words. What we cannot seriously, and I mean seriously, contemplate is that all animals equally should have the right to life and liberty, which is what any Bill of Rights must presumably contain. So I ask you to reflect on the words of the motion and therefore to reject it.
To the breeders and exhibitors, huge thank you to them, the people back in the barn. I know what it's like. It's 24/7 job, keeping everything right. But congratulations to everyone, and well done.
Morgen kann ich auch noch nicht mal aufschlagen.
Anyway, I think we start off this class with quite an easy winner in my opinion. It's a cow that's extremely modern in her makeup. She's got the combination of dairiness and strength I love to see. Hardness in her line region, spring and openness to her midsection. And a cow moves around the ring tremendously on her feet and legs. It is her feet and legs where she gets the advantage today. I prefer the cow on the move, cleanness her bone, her locomotion, her flex a hawk on the move over the cow in second. And we start off this class again with, I think, a cow that comes to the top quite logically for me. It's a cow that's got extreme dairy quality right from her tip of her nose to tip of her tail. She shows me so much breed character right through her head and neck, right through her midsection. A cow that moves around the ring so freely on her legs and feet. I give her advantage today over the cow in the second. It is on her mammary system, the height and width of that rear udder, and particularly the udder floor, the levelness to her udder floor under the cow in the second. The second place cow, she fits my pattern I've went for all day. She's got the combination of dairiness and strength I love to see. So modern in her frame, so proportionate and balanced throughout. She gets the advantage over the cow in third. It is on just her dairy quality, her femininity throughout. I prefer how she moves on her hind legs, and also just her silkiness and dairy quality over the cow in fourth.
It's true, you do have a rather thin body, but it's a pretty body, but it is very dancery, and that's just what it is. And you know what, you might have wanted to stuff those soft gels in your bra before you came out here. At least for these people.
All natural, that's what I want to be.
I'm going to give your face a 7.9. I'm going to give your body a 7.5, and overall sex appeal a 6. But listen, Baywatch are here. You're going to need to firm that body up just a little bit. I know you guys like these voluptuous packages, but I saw a little too much jiggle. Could you turn around for me, Melinda? The body, I'm sorry, I gave her a 7.5. She needed to firm it up just a little bit. Overall sex appeal, though, a 9. Your body is just too thin to carry the sex appeal. And I don't know what you can do and hit McDonald's and get those cheeseburgers. I mean,
That's okay. That's okay.
But listen, it's all good. I'm giving your face an 8.5. The body is 7.5, but you've got sex appeal, 8.
Die zwei platzierte eine Kuh, die gerne hier wirklich ganz gerne, die gerne sieht. Eine Kuh von vorne bis hinten mit genügend Breite, eine Kuh mit so viel Ausdruck, mit so viel Weiblichkeit, mit so viel Ausstrahlung, mit so viel Milchtyp. Und sie nutzt diese Vorteile in der Ausstrahlung, in ihrem Milchtyp, um sich hier vor der nächsten zu platzieren.
Topseller 34.000, ein Kalb hier im Zuchtgebiet, freut uns besonders. Durchschnittspreis über alle Tiere 7.700 €. Das war natürlich eine super Sache gestern und danach der Züchterabend für alle, die dabei waren. Jung Deutschland, super Party, Netzwerken ist angesagt gewesen und das tut uns allen ja im gesamten Berufsstand auch sehr gut. Also gestern Abend ein richtig toller Abend für uns alle. Aber jetzt sind wir hier heute bei der nächsten Klasse, wie gesagt, der Klasse der Zweigheitskühe. Freuen wir uns über den Anblick dieser tollen Tiere.
For years, people thought that the conscience was sufficient to banish or abolish slavery in the United States of America. It wasn't. It was only when legislation was introduced that slavery was abolished. Legislation is also required before most people will start treating animals properly.
It is an historic fact that rights are nearly always granted by those who are in a position of power to those who are not. The right to vote for women in this country was a hard-won campaign, costing much in blood for the suffragettes who fought it. But it was granted by an exclusively male British Parliament, which was in a position to so grant those rights. The argument advanced that says that animals have no rights, that there is no appropriate time for the consideration of their rights, that human beings are in far worse positions in many parts of the world. The logic of that argument is that there is never a right time for the granting of rights to any aspect of the community of this planet. The argument is often advanced by the South African government that it is not an appropriate time to move to one person, one vote, that there will be a time, but it doesn't happen to be now. And indeed, the position of animals in this country and in the European community and throughout the world is one of a deteriorating position, not an advancing one. We do have obligations. Obligations are part of the notion of rights. The codification of those obligations in recognizing that we now share this planet as one community of living beings is precisely why the technical arguments of those who've opposed the resolution should be disregarded and the spirit of the resolution should carry the day.
Dieses Jahr fordern hunderte Menschen auf hier wiederum enge Platzierung, unglaubliche Kühe von vorne bis hinten. Dieses Jahr haben sie während die Zeit geschehen noch mit etwas mehr Länge von vorne bis hinten, etwas mehr Typ, etwas mehr Ausstrahlung. Und
als Eigentümer ein Gesellensieger heute bei der diesjährigen Show der Besten. Herzlichen Glückwunsch und auch hier hält einen Ehrenpreis natürlich von der Firma Nordland. Uwe Müller war hier und die Gratulation für den Bereich. Die Landwirtschaftskammer hat ebenfalls Plaketten vergeben, vom Ministerium ebenfalls, also da kommen Plaketten auch noch ins Haus. Und wir machen schon flott weiter, die nächsten Kühe sind hier schon eingezogen in den Ring, und zwar die Klasse 14. Es geht mit den nächsten Kühen weiter, eine Kalbung weiter, und zwar 4 Abteilungen Kühe mit Katalognummer 156 bis 170, jetzt hier im Ring.
Schweinen, Rindern, Geflügel, Pferden und Kleintieren abgestimmt. Jede Rezeptur ist durchdacht, jedes Produkt sagt, hinter jedem Produkt steht ein Mensch, die ihr Handwerk verstehen und lieben. Mitarbeiterinnen und Mitarbeiter, die mit Erfahrung, Sorgfalt und Leidenschaft täglich dafür sorgen, dass aus besten Rohstoffen ein verlässliches Produkt entsteht. Viele aus unserem Team kommen selbst. Die wissen, was es heißt, Verantwortung zu tragen. Für Tiere, für Familie, für den Nächsten. Wir wissen, nur das beste Futter bringt das beste Leben.
Wenn ihr hinter der Kuh steht, wenn ihr sie seht von der Seite aus, von der Nasenspitze bis zur Spitze doch etwas länger diese Kuh, etwas mehr Ausstrahlung und auch wenn man hinter der Kuh steht, ihr im Hinterhäuter, in der Hinterhäuterhöhe, etwas mehr Behaarung, etwas mehr Feinheit, was sie dann letztendlich den Ausschlag gibt.
What we're talking about here, surely tonight, at the core of what we're discussing, is values. That's what it's about, human values. Martin Luther King talked about power without compassion, might without morality, and strength without sight. They are the values that allow our societies to abuse animals. But they are the values also that allow our societies to abuse people and to abuse the planet as well in the name of economics.
You cannot divorce the values that abuse animals and those that abuse people and abuse the planet, for they are the same values. It was Henry Salt, a great social reformer and animal rights campaigner, because again, the two are indivisible, who said early on in this century, "It is useless to preach peace by itself, social justice by itself, or kindness to animals by itself. The cause," he said, "of each of all the evils that afflict the world is the same: the general lack of humanity, the lack of knowledge that all sentient life is akin, and that he who injures a fellow being is in fact doing injury to himself. It is not this bloodshed or that bloodshed that must cease," he said, "but all needless bloodshed, all wanton infliction of pain or death upon our fellow beings. And if the people who run this country and run other countries do not see that, then maybe they do need a Bill of Rights for animals to constantly remind them. For that will do if we start treating animals with dignity. That will do as much for people. Because if we have a society that treats animals with respect, love, and dignity, we will have a society and a world that treats people and the planet with love, respect, and dignity." As Gandhi said, finally, "The greatness of a nation can be judged by how its animals are treated. And on that basis, this country and many other countries are not great. It's about time they were. And if that takes a Bill of Rights, then so be it."
In the end, then, what I sense is the following: that the issues have not been joined, that there is still the lingering suspicion, and I dare say belief, that we are the master species, or we have rights. It's the rest of creation that doesn't. Thank you very much.